Hi, my name is Lauren and you're on my channel Lauren's Lines, and today I've got another sketchbook tour video for you. This is pretty much all I do on this channel at the moment. I used to do speed paints, but they're boring, so I don't do them anymore. If you'd like to see them, I can. I was thinking about doing some art vlogs, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see what my paintings look like as they come about. Yeah, this sketchbook tour is a little bit different to the usual. There's a lot of different stuff in it. It is probably the most special sketchbook tour that I'm probably going to show you, because this one, the whole thing was done in a week, and it wasn't like a crazy challenge or anything. It was just an amazing trip. So let's get into it. So I was lucky enough to go for Nature Journal of Tanzania with John Muir Laws, aka Jack, and the Nature Journal Club. So if you don't know who John Muir Laws is, he is on YouTube. He puts lots of tutorials up for free, which is amazing. And so I found him through those. He's got lots on drawing birds and plants and insects, and they're really thorough and they're really, really good. So I knew him through those. And I was on his website looking for something else. I can't even remember. Probably like a reference on how a bug's leg joins up or something like that. And I saw that he had this trip going to Tanzania. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. There's only 6 spots left. I really want to go on that. I called my mom. I was like, I really want to go on this trip. It's expensive. Should I do it? And she's like, yes, do it. And so I paid my money and then I went. Well, not quite like that. There was a bit of time in between, but yeah, I got to go on this trip. So I got to meet him for the very first time. I remember being so nervous. I was like, what if he's not as nice as he seems in his videos? And he was nicer. It was so nice, so lovely. Everybody on the trip was fantastic. I met so many amazing people. I know people say that all the time, but like, I didn't know people were this good. Like, these people were the best people. Anyway, so on the first day, we were in Arusha. I remember getting quite a shock because it was so green and lush. Like, I was expecting Serengeti and for there to be no trees and all grass. But yeah, it was beautiful and lush. And the very first thing we stopped and saw was at the bathroom on the gate into the park. And there was this lesser striped swallow sitting on a wire, and somebody got the scope on it. And I've never seen a swallow close like that. And so I was really amazed, because normally you just see them like they're whizzing about. So that was really interesting. Yeah, and then we saw this first one, and there was these Cape buffalo, zebras, what have I got here? Warthogs, and there was some giraffes in the background. And I remember we stood there for ages. So I was looking at the zebras, and there was this one baby one, and it was all curled up, and he looked like a little donut. It was so cute. Yeah, and I remember it must have been the first night, like, I was flicking through my sketchbook of like all the practice drawings I'd done in zoos and stuff, and I'd been in Romania prior to this trip sketching bears, and so I was showing some of those as well because Jack was interested in them. And I had a zebra that I'd done in the zoo, in the zoo or in one of the natural history museums, one of the two, and it had stripes on the face, and then I'd given up for the rest of the body. And he was like, do you know how you do that? I'm like, no, is there a trick? And he's like, yeah, they've got like 3 stripes, so if you can get those done, then like all the others are easy. So there's like 1 stripe for the neck, like a strap over his shoulder, and then like a saddle for his back. And then once you get those, all the other lines kind of like fill in from there. I couldn't believe how easy it was. It was amazing. This is still the first day. We saw blue monkey, and they have this like darker, well, not darker, but like a reddish color on the back, which is really cool. And these cute faces and binocular vision, and the eyes are really close together. Bushbuck female, baboons. Yeah, I was really happy with this little drawing. These are all done in the back of a Jeep. So you're driving along and stopping and driving along and stopping. And so obviously the quality of these drawings is going to be different to maybe what you're used to seeing. And there's not so many gouache paintings because this paper isn't really watercolor paper, but I was really glad that it could take just a little bit. The bushbuck again, a waterbuck, and a giraffe. And they have these interesting, I didn't realize that there was more than one type of giraffe. naively. But yeah, the ones that they have there have these like really funny patterns. They look like, I've written here, like fallen leaves. Yeah. I'd also like to say that my handwriting in this book is atrocious because it's in the back of a Jeep and I can just draw, but my handwriting's terrible. Usually it's not this bad. And then we saw this sunset as we were leaving on the first day, and like just everything was just like, oh, you're leaving, we'll come out for you. And like I knew we were in a rush and we're trying to leave and the sun was setting and there's like these giraffes and these, what have I got? Waterbucks and zebras, and I think there was warthogs kicking about as well, and it was just amazing. I really liked the warthogs. I thought they were really cute. Pumbaa. Yeah, and then flamingos, beautiful flamingos. I remember when I did this page, we were sitting by this, was it an alkaline lake? Yeah, alkaline lake, and that's what the flamingos like. And yeah, just drawing away and like doing these. And for this trip that we were on, because obviously it's kind of strange for people to be drawing on an Africa safari, they had a film crew around with them. It was mostly like a promotional, like, here we've got a point of difference to our services kind of film that they were making. And I was sitting next to John Muir Laws, and I was like, oh, they're going to be interviewing him because like he's the star of the show, he's the leader of the whole thing, like they're not going to talk to me. And then they started talking to me and I was just like, what? No, I don't know what to say. And they're like, hi, how are you going? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm good. I've had a really good day. We've seen some things and zebras, and now I'm painting flamingos and they're really pink. And that's all I could say. That's all I could come up with on the spot. I was just like, no, what? Like just panic. And so luckily for like their promotional stuff, that did not make it into the cut, but they had like a longer cut of the film for us they sent us, and they put that in. I was just like, oh no. So awkward. Yeah, so I remember that, and I had Jack flick through my book at the end of the week, and I was like, tell me what I did wrong. And so I know what I did wrong on this page, and if you didn't point it out, I wouldn't have known. But this flamingo's leg is backwards. It shouldn't bend that way. It should have been this way, like this one. So he's got like a very wrong knee, very dislocated knee there. And my African fish eagle should have, like the white should come down onto the back of it as well. But that's because I didn't look at it properly. Baobab tree, they're really cool. Really cool. They're so big. And a vervet monkey. And if you've ever seen a vervet monkey, holy smokes. Like, you think your eyes are playing tricks on you. You think it's a reflection of the sky or something, but like sky blue balls. Like, goodness me. Like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to Google vervet monkey, because those are amazing. I wish I'd done a painting of them, but I didn't. And this one is a lilac-breasted roller. And I loved Jack had a really cool sort of saying about it, a story about it. Is like the first time you see it, it's this amazing thing. Like it's colorful, like all these colors are on this bird. Like it's beautiful, it's bright, it's amazing. Like the first time you see it, your mind is blown. Like, oh my god, look at this bird. And then you see it again and again and again and again, and then eventually you're just like, oh no, it's just another lilac-breasted roller. And like you sort of don't care as much. And he was sort of saying like, just remember to look at it every single time as if it's the first time you're seeing it. Like, and keep that wonder and how amazing it is, and you'll see all these things that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. If you're just like, oh no, it's just another one of those, I've seen that before. But you do it with everything, so like, well, the antelope and every single thing that you see, you're just like, oh wow, there's another one. Like, really cool, like, try and notice something different from it. And yeah, it seems so simple, but it was a really good analogy, I suppose. Is that the right word? Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then a waterhole, and there were some zebras in it. We saw a little Dick, and they were so cute. It's a tiny little thing. And everybody thought it was a joke that I had written Dick with a CK, and it's not actually spelled like that, and I didn't know, and it wasn't a joke. It's just that I don't know how to spell. So that was embarrassing, but I've not changed it because I keep forgetting. And then we saw a bunch of elephants. And this big space, I don't know if you can tell, there's some lines there that you can see, but there was an elephant lying down on the ground, like just having a snooze. And so I'd gotten that in, and then I'd gotten my like rough lines in, and then he stood up, and I was like, I don't know how to draw an elephant from memory lying down. So I just left it blank. I could have done something else there, but we'd moved on. Some hornbills. We saw some more elephants, and they were like putting their trunks up to sniff the air, and I thought that was really amazing. I didn't know that they actually did that. I thought it was just something that they do in cartoons. Butterfly. Wildebeest just standing in the shade, like it'll be really sunny and there's just like one pocket of shade, so he's just standing there. This was the first time we saw a secretary bird, and that was the most amazing thing. I'd heard people talk about them, like they wanted to see them, and I had never heard of it before. I'm like, what's a secretary bird? And we pulled over and we were looking for a mongoose. So we're looking at the ground, like I'm like, I can't see any mongoose. And then all of a sudden it's just like, what is that? And it's like this dinosaur had come out. And like this, like these knees just bend, and they're just huge. And he's got these little leggings on, and a crazy tail that sticks all the way out at the end with a puff on the end. And he's like, just so ridiculous. It doesn't look real. Like I remember seeing it, being like, who came up with that? Yeah. So my mind was blown. I was really glad that we got to see them, and we saw a few. So every time we saw them, I tried to draw one. Again, another elephant. This one was holding something in its trunk, which is pretty cool. And then this was where we stopped for lunch, and we were looking out over this river, and there was elephants and a giraffe, and there was a couple of other things in there, and it was just so amazing looking out over this view. And it was just like, this is just where we're stopping for lunch. Like, no big deal. Yeah. Ground hornbill. Was quite excited to see those because that was one that I'd practiced in the zoo, in a guinea fowl. I was quite happy with this little landscape. So I don't really have many big landscapes in this book because it's quite hard to move the paint around on this paper. But one of the things that they do with nature journaling is lots of little mini landscapes, because you can get them down quick, get everything you wanted in there, and like you've captured it, easy done. And so yeah, I was happy with that one. I was also happy with this one, with the wildebeest getting smaller and smaller in the distance. I think it was really cool that like Tanzania is just so diverse in its landscapes. Like, here it's got like all these trees and big mountains, and then it's flat, and then here it's just like flat and like one tree. like it's just flat until the horizon. Yeah. Giraffe sitting down. This was right early in the morning. We saw the giraffe sitting down. And I remember the guide saying that, that's kind of surprising. They must feel really safe, because often they don't just sit down, because obviously it's hard to get up and go if somebody's trying to eat you. This was a spiky wormy flower that I was really interested in. It was behind the toilets where we stopped. This is a lookout over Lake Manyara. I hope I'm saying that right. And I'm not super happy with this landscape, but these specks were vultures, and they were flying around, and they were huge. And it was almost like a big kite coming down and around when they came close. It was really cool. Agar buzzard. It was sitting on the side of the road, and as we drove past it took off. So a lot of the drawings in this sketchbook are just sort of like my quick impression of what I saw, and so like try to jot it down and then like see if I got it right afterwards, like if you remember it quite accurately after just a glance. Yeah, and they had these really cool lizards. We stopped, I think it was another bathroom stop. There's lots of drawings from bathroom stops because obviously you're out of the Jeep, and so it's easier to draw. And I just couldn't believe how brightly coloured they were. Like, again, just the same with the lilac racket roll. It's like, who put the colours on this? Like, none of this matches. But yeah, it was really cool. Koi bustard. And then I was really happy with this little landscapedo. I liked how soft it was. Yeah, I was happy with that. And I was really happy with this. I was really happy we got to see hyenas. I didn't think that I would like hyenas because obviously the Lion King, they're the baddies. And they were so cute. They're so cute. And the ears are bigger than this is, and they were just adorable. I just really liked them. And a vulture. I feel like this is like the baddies page because, hyenas, vultures, baddies. And then as we were driving home, there was this amazing sunset. And we were in the back of the Jeep, and we had to rush to get to camp. because there's rules about how late you can stay out and all that sort of stuff. And I'm in the back of the Jeep like, oh my god, like trying to do this sunset painting, and it doesn't look anything like how the sunset's supposed to be. It's actually supposed to be 2 sunsets. I actually think this one is closer, like I should have put a box around it, and it kind of looks like how the sunset looked. And this was how, because this is sort of the end of the sunset and this was the beginning. But it just looks like one big one. But yeah, I remember what that sunset was like, and I remember that experience because I did this mess. Yeah, there's a lot of that in this sketchbook. It's just like document memories, not so much about drawing pictures, which I really like. And here we are on the Serengeti, which is a pretty amazing. This is one of those things you only hear David Attenborough talking about. It's like not this real place that I can actually go. So that was really cool. So a topi, and we saw this little baby crowned lapwing, and it was just so cute. There was a bunch of them, and they just had these heads that were far too big for their bodies, and it was just adorable. And then here, this was probably up there with one of my favourite things, was seeing the hyenas. We were driving along and there was this big puddle in the middle of the road and it was full of mud, and these 2 hyenas just taking a mud bath, and they were so cute. Like this one was just sat there like contemplating life for ages, and this one was like having a proper snooze. There was another one under a tree, and then we sat there for ages watching them, and this warthog came up, like that was his spot, and he just sort of stopped when he saw the hyenas and was just like, I don't know if I want to go over there. But he stood for ages and then eventually was just like, yeah, nah, I'm not hanging out with them. Like turned tail and went away. But it was so, they're just so cute. And while we were there, we were just about to leave, and then this serval cat just popped out, like in the grass, just not even behind us, just there. And so that was really cool. He disappeared almost instantly, but we got to see him, and I just remember this impression of like big ears. He just had big ears. Cinnamon-chested bee eater. These were really cool to get to see. I'd never seen a bird like that, actually. I don't even know what this is, but I remember seeing it and thinking it looked like a just sort of fly away, and thinking it looked like like a Japanese kimono or something like that, like just the really simple colors with a flash of reddy orange. Yeah. There's a baking crocodile in the sun, and then we saw this leopard jump up into a tree and just chilled out there. Lions. I remember doing this, and because we were in the Jeep and they were lying just there was a tree by the side of the road and they were just lying in the shade right next to the road, so we were able to get really close. And so you're kind of looking down on them from this funny angle, and obviously they're on their sides and stuff. Like it's kind of hard to draw something when it's doing that. And like, so you look at this shape here, like this kind of bump that does not say lion to you, but you put the head on and in the context of the other one, you can kind of tell there's 2 lions lying there, I think. And so I was happy with this drawing. I'm really happy with this drawing. But I remember the whole time I was just like, this is just like life drawing in Edinburgh. Like it's just somebody laying around where they've got different proportions. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And I didn't think that when I was going to life drawing that I'd be using those skills in the Serengeti. Yeah, I was really happy to see an African hoopoe bird. Yeah, that was really cute. I really liked that. And Jack told us what the Latin name for it, scientific name is, and I hope I get this right, but I think he said it was called Hoopu Upuipops, which is just great. If I got that right, it's great. I remember what it was, like whatever he said, it was amazing. I hope I've remembered that right. Yeah, another secretary bird. I feel like I'm sort of getting a little bit more familiar with them. The tail's a bit longer than I think that I've drawn it here, but yeah. And I remember someone was saying, because obviously it's a big group of us and we're all drawing and stuff, and someone's like, oh, I'm trying to get them like in the landscape. And I was like, oh, I hadn't even thought of that. All of mine are just like plonked on the page with no context. So yeah, I was really happy that I got, I think it's a topi? I'm not sure. Oh gosh, I can't even remember what this is. But I was really glad that I got him and like in the, with a background. And same with this one, the leopard, you know, sitting on a rock. Yeah, I really was enjoying doing these little landscapitos, they call them. Yeah, I got to see hippos, which was pretty cool. I was really happy with how this drawing came out, because whenever I tried to draw hippos, either in the zoo or the Natural History Museum, they were really hard. But I liked this one because it was just like hungry hippos, like it was just the top of their head. It was great. Yeah. Oh, it's very faint, and I don't know if you can see it. Obviously, I didn't paint it, but this was the most amazing sunset I've ever seen. I remember, like, you watch Lion King and they have the big disc of a sun and it sets. And you're just like, the sun doesn't look like that. They're making that up, like this artistic license. But the sun was. It was just like this disc in the sky. I couldn't believe it. I know you're not supposed to stare at it, but I was just staring at it. Yeah, just amazing watching it go down. Yeah, and we got to see 3 cheetahs at 8:30 a.m. Like, what kind of morning starts like that? It was fantastic. I just remember on the Serengeti again, and they were all walking away. Like, they were just walking away from the road. And so this is the best view that I got of one. It was like walking away. But I was really happy again that I got it. You know, he's only got 3 legs and he's only got 1 ear. But it still looks like a cheater, I hope. I think it looks like a cheater. And this is where we stopped, one of the camps we stopped in, and there was these 2 wire-tailed swallows just sitting on the tent. They just looked so cool. Like, they had these really long tails. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah. Another secretary bird. Done in ink this time. And there's just one hippo just walking around on his own. And then this says Malin Mon Ostrich, kind of like Marilyn Monroe, because he was doing the like his feather dance, showing off his thighs, which is a part of a bird that you don't get to see very often. Yeah, I'm gonna stop right. And then we got to see these guys, and I always thought, I mean, there was heaps of things on this trip that I thought the Lion King was just made up. But yeah, we did see lions on rocks, like Pride Rock. It was just like Pride Rock, and they had their cubs. Yeah, so all these things that I just thought were artistic license and somebody had just come up with. But yeah, there's lions on rocks in Africa. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so this was the mama lioness she had like a little pile of cubs that were all sleeping together. It was really hard to draw them because it was just like, you know, an ear sticking out here and there's another one, and like you just couldn't tell what was what and how many there actually were in this pile. Yeah, and someone had the great idea, because obviously a group of lions is called a pride. And we're like, what do you call a group of cubs? And like, oh, maybe it's a confidence, because it's not as big as a pride. Which, I don't know, I just loved that. I thought it was so cute. The confidence of cubs. Yeah. And then, so this is the same lion, but we drove around to the other side of the rock so you could see her face where she was snoozing. Looks very comfortable and cute. I was having trouble getting the profile of lions right, so I found that quite tricky. And we have a Tommy G gazelle, and had a little teeny tiny baby. It was so small. And Tommy G is what we nicknamed the Thompson's gazelles. Tommy G. And here is some more lionesses. We saw them sitting sort of like in the scrubby, bushy, grassy stuff. Just chilling out. I was quite happy. I think I got that silhouette right here. Whereas there I've got a bit more of a dip. That's too much like a bear. Because I've been drawing a lot of bears in Romania just before this trip, so it made sense that everything looked like a bear to me, whereas this is more line shaped, I think. So I was happy with that. And then at one of our stops we saw a really cool bat in the daytime. It had like pink wings and yellow ears, and it was really, really cool. Yeah, because you just don't see bats ever, let alone in the daytime. I mean, if you see them at night, like they're whizzing past and you can't see them. Yeah, and then we stopped in a Maasai Village. It was sort of an impromptu stop. It wasn't part of the trip originally, but it was really cool. We got to see the people and the little baby on their back, and they were really friendly and nice, and yeah, it was amazing. I'm not very good at drawing people, so I had a bit of trouble with that. But yeah, I was just amazed by like how colourful their blankets were. I don't think that's the right term, but yeah, it was really cool. And it was sunset, so there's lots of sunset going over, and they had all their cattle in a pen. I didn't do a very good job of doing that, but it was in a rush, as everything is. And then this is the next morning. We had to get up really early. It was still dark when we got up, leaving the camp. And across the road, you know, these two hyenas ran out in front of our truck, and they had this teeny tiny little baby hyena with them, and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I think that's possibly the highlight of my trip, was getting to see a baby hyena, even though it was only for like 2 seconds as it like dashed across the road. But yeah, it was so cute. Yeah, I fell in love with hyenas on this trip, but the baby one was the best. And annoyingly, because I'm quite dyslexic, when I was filling in the pen for this, like to name it, I was going to say baby hyena, but I got too excited and I did the B back to front, so it was bad. And I'm like, I can't say baddie hyena, that's weird. So I was like, I'll make it badass baby hyena. And then I was showing my friend this book. I was like, oh, like I didn't take any photos on my trip, but this is like everything I drew. And she's like, oh, you know, you spelled ass wrong. I'm like, God damn it. I just cannot win with the spelling. But the reason we were getting up really early was so we could have as much time as possible in the Ngorongoro crater. I hope that's how you say it. Which I've seen on, you know, National Geographic and that sort of stuff. This big crater with, you know, water and stuff inside. So we're going down one side of the crater. On the way in, it was sunrise, so it was beautiful. It was a big lake, and it was lovely. And then just on the side of the road, just walking down the road, was another lion. But this was the very first male lion we'd seen, so he had the mane on, and it was, I guess some of the cubs could have been male lions, but this one, he had a mane, just like Simba. So that was really cool, and I cut my finger. I was so excited to try and see him. So there's blood all over this page, but I kind of don't mind. It's a bit gross, but yeah. And then another view of, I think this is more inside the crater. Yeah, so you've sort of got like the edges of it, and then there was like, every time you're in there, there's always this like bluey purple edge of the crater at all times, like all the way around, obviously. So that was really cool. And then I love that I put the time down for this, because this felt like it was the middle of the day because we'd been doing so much and we'd seen so much already. But it was only 8:35 a.m. and we'd seen a grey-crowned cranes, and they were really cool. That was one of the ones that I'd practiced in the zoo, and so I was quite pleased. Like, I know how to draw that, kind of. Yeah. And then again with that like big bluey purple mountain edge of the crater in the background, and there was an ostrich silhouetted against it. I thought it was really cool. Mama, 2 lionesses with about 6 cubs just chilling. Oh, obviously I only drew 3, but they're all facing the wrong way, so it's just like ears. We saw a baby hippo from a distance. That was pretty cool. It just looked like a little jelly bean. That's so cute. Yeah. And then these 3 are from where we stopped for lunch. This is like, so we stopped at this sort of lake, and it was beautiful. Again, like this is the crater edge. But yeah, it's a beautiful lake. But I just remember being really surprised that there was a hippo in that lake. And like, is at the toilet stop, there was like, you know, our 4 trucks and then a bunch of other people that we didn't know. Like, they're all their trucks, and it's this common stopping place for lunch and to go to the bathroom. And there was a hippo in that lake. You couldn't see it all the time, but every now and again it would just like come up and go down and come up and go down. You're just like, okay, like, because, you know, most dangerous animal in Africa, and we're having lunch next to his lake. Yeah. And then this tree was really cool. There's heaps of people taking pictures on it. And this is supposed to be the water, and it just sort of jutted out in this big tree. But yeah, it was beautiful, interesting shape. And crane. So what's this? 10:10. 10:10 a.m. So because it's not really lunch. Yeah, lunch bird came very close, and then we got to see a black jackal, which was really cool. I think we were stopped supposedly looking at something else. There's sort of a bit of a traffic jam, and then yeah, this guy just walking past. And I think at this point of the trip we were getting kind of tired and silly, and we came up with a song about the jackal because he was on the mud flats. And I'm not going to sing it because it's a terrible song and I can't sing. But yeah, if anybody who is on that trip is watching this video, then you will know it, because there's no way you could have escaped all of us singing this ridiculous song. And then at 10 to 1 we saw a Cory bustard. I wish I'd put the times on all of them all the way through the trip, because that's quite handy. And some more ostriches, and the male one doing his little dance. And again, like just that constant like edge of the crater. Like there was no forgetting that you were in this amazing place. And then we saw a, oh my god, what is this called? A pelican. A bunch of pelicans. It wasn't just one, but I only drew one at the time. Pelicans and hippos in this one spot. And then this is a song that one of the ladies on our trip put together for us to sing to our guides in their language. Yeah, and it's a tweak on one that they sing normally. I hadn't heard it before, but it was like, thank you so much for all of your help is basically what the words say. Yeah, so that was really nice. I think they liked it when we sung it to them. It's kind of a weird, awkward thing to do, but I feel like if someone makes a song for you and sings it to you, you're probably gonna like it, maybe. Yeah, and then as we were coming out of the crater, we stopped at a viewpoint to look back into the crater, and somebody got the scope out and they managed to spot a rhino, and that was amazing because we didn't think that we were going to get to see them because obviously they're incredibly rare. And I felt really, really lucky because he had his head sort of like tucked down, like looking down, like curled up. So you couldn't see the horn for most of the time, but I got really lucky that when I looked through the scope, he put his head up for 2 seconds and then put it back down again, but I got to see the horn. So I was really pleased with that. But yeah, so that's him through the scope, and then that's what he really looked like. He's tiny because he's so far away, but I got to see a rhino. Here we are at the Lake Manyara entrance. So this is the next day, 10 a.m. So this must have been a later start. Yeah, and there's this big crazy tree and it had all of these birds in it. I only drew a few, but there was heaps of them. And I remember Jack was just like, we call this a cluster flock. It was really funny. Yeah, elephants. I think that I'm sort of starting to get the nick of it. I really like this little one for elephants. Like some of the smaller ones, I found them quite handy. Yeah, and a vervet monkey. I don't know if I already mentioned the blue balls. I mean, if I haven't, you should look them up. Vervet monkey, blue balls. Just be surprised. Yeah, and then so Lake Manyara was more sort of wetland kind of landscape. So there was baboons and like water birds and more baboons and a big buffalo. And so yeah, buffalo, and he's just like just standing there. And so it was kind of a funny angle to draw from, like looking down on him. Yeah, and then Vanderdeck's hornbill, female. I really like this drawing. I was quite pleased with it. Just little ones. Saddlebill. I was really happy that we got to see one of those because that's a pretty cool looking bird. Obviously, so this isn't a wetland, so there was lots of birds this day. And I can't remember what this one is, but that was really cool to see as well. Like the bill almost went up and it covered his eye. Oh gosh, I can't remember what that's called. I have to look it up. Yeah, but I was really pleased we got to see a purple swamp hen, which is the most purple iridescent thing you've ever seen. Like I know this drawing just kind of looks like a moorhen or a coot, but it was bright iridescent purple and it was amazing. I was really pleased we got to see that. I know Fiona, who was on the trip and she was in my car, that was on her list of something she really wanted to see. We just got to see one, so that was good. And then we stopped and someone's like, oh, did you see the owls? I'm like, no, owls? I'm like, yeah, go back. Like you'll see them, they're on the side of the road. And so we went back and we're driving really slowly trying to spot these owls, and like they're obviously very camouflaged, they're the same color as the tree. But they were huge. Yeah, really cool. And one had his face sort of all smooshed up, like having a snooze, and then the other one was sort of kind of a little bit more awake, like not really awake, but a little bit more. So that was really cool that we got to see. And then just as we were heading out, like for the very end of the day, I think we were running late as well because it was not wasted time trying to see the owls, but we'd taken time to try and see the owls when we were supposed to be getting going. Because we had a long drive to get back to Arusha. And and we're just leaving the park and we saw the silver-cheeked hornbill, which has got this like amazing big horn, and it's really spectacular, and it was one that I had wanted to see. So yeah, that was really, really cool to get to see them. Yeah, so that was a great way to just finish off the end of a trip, and so that's the end. That's it. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna just flip through it, because I know this is a really long video, so I might put like a little, if you just want to see me flipping through it without me talking, I'll put a timestamp. Yeah. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with the next one. Is probably more my usual kind of sketchbook video. This one's a bit special and a bit different. Yeah, so thanks for watching.